Hi everyone, hope you guys are doing well, and I'm back today with another video. My name is Stella and we're going to talk about the PTE reading. Yes, we're going to talk about how to improve the reading scores or your reading scores in the PTE test. We have lots of problems of students coming into us. I get a lot of emails and a lot of messages saying that, ma'am, how do we improve the reading part? Because most of the time is the words we do not understand. There are certain strategies which do not come into our mind at the time when we are practicing it. So how do we really score more than 79 or 7 to 8 bands in the speaking test for the PTE? So if we're talking about the reading part especially, which is the third part of the module of the entire test. So let's talk about, I've listed around 6 items here, 6 things to do that you need to do to improve your reading scores in the PTE. Let's talk about the first one. The first one is the most important one, which I want to mention in this video today, is that most of the students who come to us, either they've given their test for the first time or they have given at least 2-3 attempts, and they come to us and they say that this is where I lack, especially in the reading part. Now, the most important is, no matter how good you are in the English language, no matter how well you must have scored in your 12th standard, in your graduation, post-graduation, one thing that I make my students do before they start their actual PTE practice, I make them go for 1 week of grammar classes. Why? It's because we are out of touch with the grammar rules and with especially the main important things that goes with attempting the questions for the reading. So that is the important thing. We go with a 1 week of grammar classes, at least 3 to 4 days of revising the entire grammar part, especially with the parts of speech and other things like that, with your tenses also, so that you become very well known of the rules and regulations, because these are the things which you need to apply in your reading part. If you're clear about the grammar rules and you're very well known about them, then it is very easy to score the reading section. So going to the first part is attend 1 week grammar classes before starting. Like I said, all the grammar rules are very important before you start the reading section, and you need to spend at least 2 hours every day for 6 to 7 days in 1 week grammar classes for your before you start your reading section or your reading practice in the PTE. The next part is I have the collocation list. Now I know that if you go to the internet, there is a long list and it is not possible for us to know all the collocations. Now first of all, what is a collocation? It's 2 words which are used together to describe an important thing. For example, and these 2 words have separate meanings, as separate words, but they need to be used together for certain things, like vital statistics. So we cannot say important statistics, we say vital statistics. So these are the kind of words which are called collocations, and like I said, it's not possible for us to know the entire list. But what you need to do is you need to at least read 50 a day. See, it's not about like, let's try about an easy way to do the things, or is there any easier way? There is no easy way. These are the things which you have to do, which is a must to do, especially if you want to score or you want to get through the first attempt. You need to read at least 50 of them a day. I'm talking about the collocations, which is a very important and a primary factor, especially in your PTE reading. Next part is applying logic. Now applying logic, what I mean, especially we're talking about skimming and scanning, is most important is that we are trying to find out the keywords, but we don't know what exactly is the keyword. Now, to stress on this, a keyword is actually the main idea or the main word that the entire line or the passage is about. Now, what does it mean by applying logic? For example, if I'm talking about the sky, if the sky cannot be green or blue or green, red or any other color, the sky is blue. So these are the kind of things which you need to apply while doing your PTE reading. There are certain, and especially when you relate it to the collocations, also you need to apply logic. Sentences or words that you commonly hear, how do they relate to each other? How are they actually said? These are the kind of things which you need to keep in mind when you are doing the reading section. Now skimming and scanning means not underlining each and every word of the passage, but underlying or at least choosing certain words that are in the passage. Now since you are in a system and you cannot underline the words in the system, so what you can do is you can make a note in your notebook of what exactly one particular word that the entire passage is about, or one particular sentence. You need to do that. I know that practicing this on a daily basis takes a lot of time, but once you get into the habit of it, it will not take much time. So applying logic, doing the skimming and scanning is very important, and most important thing is that you need to read the question first. Again, I come back to the same thing with students. Happen to do the answers, they get the answers wrong, and afterwards we tell them, please read the question again. And when they read the question is entirely different from what they've been asked for, and that's how they get a wrong answer. Number 4, most important, stop Googling. What happens is that as soon as we find one important word or one particular word which do not know the meaning, we straight away go to our phones or we go to the net and we start searching the meaning of those words, which is actually very wrong, because it is not possible for me as a trainer and you as a student too to know each and every word that in the world that exists. So what can we do? The word that is there in a particular sentence, and for example you are not aware about what the word means, so you need to read the entire sentence and you get at least a little bit or slightly half of what actually the meaning of the word refers to, because that word cannot be put there if it is not relating to the sentences that is actually or where the word is. So you need to read the entire sentences, at least 2-3 lines of where the word is, and you at least relate to what the vocabulary or what the word or the meaning of the word actually means. So that is how you must stop Googling. Please stop referring to your dictionaries, to your phones and to the internet for looking for meanings of words. You can do that to some extent, but do not make it a habit, because it will not be there. It will not be possible for you to do the same thing in the real test. If we're talking about the 5th point, that is practice test to time oneself, there are ample number of tests available, many softwares available. I know that we do not recommend to use all of them, but you can use some of them. The main important thing is to time yourself, which is the major aspect in your PTE, because as you know that once the page goes away, it will not come back. There is only a next button and no previous button. So you need to manage your time accordingly. If you are spending more than there are 35 questions in the reading, and you need at least 30-35 minutes to complete in the reading question. So you need to give, if practically speaking, we need to give at least 2 minutes to each question. Now if I'm poor in my MCQs or I'm good in my fill up the blanks, that's how you need to divide and also balance the time for each and every question type. Now if I'm talking about practice test to time yourself, so like I said, there are many practice tests available, and if you are practicing in any institute also, please ask your trainer to give you a test that is timed so that you can also manage your time accordingly. 6. Note your errors, which is a very common thing. Even I was a student once and everybody does that. Our trainer tells us that these are your problems and these are your errors, but we do not take care of them. For example, I have made a mistake today in 3 of the fill up the blanks. I leave it there, go home, I come back the next day and I practice on another fill up the blank. My request to you and my advice to you also is to please redo those questions again. This is very important. That is the only way you can make sure that you do not make the same mistake again when you practice another test. So here are the 6 things that you need to do in your PTE reading. We will go more into the technical part of each and every question type in our another video, but these are the 6 important things that you need to improve on your reading part for the PTE so that you can score as much as what is required. And the first point is, again, attend 1 week of grammar classes before you actually start your PTE training. Number 2, collocation list. There is a huge number. Try to at least read 40 to 50 per day. Then 3, please apply your logic. Even when you're skimming and scanning, you should know what kind of words actually you're looking for, not just randomly underlying them. Number 4, stop Googling, stop using the being dependent on the dictionaries or on the phones or internet to search the meanings. Number 5, practice test to time. That is, practice the time test, timely based test that is given on the internet and even in the institutes that we have. Number 6, note your errors. Please make sure that you know your mistakes very well, which is very important. So it would be great if you could hear from you guys talking about, like, if there are things I need to add or subtract in these videos, and if there are any other questions that you have as regarding to the PTE reading. Thank you for being with me, and join in for more videos.